What about the type of principles enshrined in the UN Declaration of Human Rights?
Michael, some of them, and the majority of them, I have no great problem with. My problem is that when they are implemented ideologically by elites, that they actually don't turn out to be what they appear to be.
But that's the same problem with religion. I mean, whatever is there can be implemented.
I agree that there can be.
But in terms of however it may be implemented, if you take as the base option A, somebody saying the creator of the universe has told me that you have to do this. Option B, here's a universal declaration of human rights that is as close as we can get to a consensus on how to minimise suffering and maximise well-being. Put those two as your base option.
Well, I mean, that idea, you've said it a few times, that the creator of the world, this kind of construction of the creator world has told me, that is not what religion proposes. I mean, we constantly hear about the moral, and of course,
But isn't that the gist of it? People get revelations from
No. You see, what
they believe to be the creator of the universe.
There has been something of that, but this is the main point about religion, is that it actually it distills and extracts the essential nature of the human experience through time. So that actually, because we keep being told that the church imposes this law and that law and that, but in fact there is no police force that comes around and takes away your condoms, for example. The law is within the human being. The law is the reality of my humanity and the limits of that humanity. So that's what religion actually seeks to kind of synthesize and to break down into principles. And of course, in that process, there has been distortion, undoubtedly. And power, in any context, is going to disrupt and corrupt any process. But still, the truth is, there are limits to my capacity. I mean, for example, we talk about, for example, sexual expression, which is a big issue. This is probably the most important. Sexual freedom is the core of a lot of these disputations. And, we have the corruption which arose in this context, child abuse and so on. But if you think about the idea of sexual freedom, what has been the experience of man and women through time, if they're honest? It is that, that if you actually engage in sexual behaviours outside of an intimate relationship with people, that it tends to damage you as well as damaging the other person. And that's what the church tells us, that you can't plunder the humanity of another person.